that's the Mahomes thing. Mahomes is better in the playoffs. He was great against the Bills. You had told me coming out of that game it was one of the single most efficient games he's ever had. I just want to be very clear. The Bills were the top 10 defense once again in the NFL. The Bills have come in with a top 5 defense in the NFL a bunch of times against the Chiefs and still lost to them in the postseason 3 of the 4 times now across the board. And they've had a top 5 defense 3 of those times, a top 10 defense all 4 of those times. So if it's just like, well, here they come. Here come the Eagles and Vic Fangio, I'd be like, I'd cool it. I'd cool it on the Vic Fangio part because, as you pointed out, Gold, that man is 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't found a way to luck himself into a win. If I were the Eagles, that would be a troubling sign, a troubling thing to hear.
Now, if you're on the flip side, you would probably say that Vic Fangio's never had this type of complimentary offense with him. Has he? I mean, I'm just talking about in Denver.
No, probably
Other times
not.
he was in Chicago, so I know he didn't. Right? He was. I know he didn't have quarterback play like this. I know he didn't have a running back.
Anything that was happening in Chicago, we can just know that.
He didn't have a guy like Saquon. He didn't have a guy like Jalen Hurts. You know, he was dealing with some other pieces there. So I know that he never had a quarterback and complimentary on the offensive side. That's a little bit different. And that's why, like, I'm trying to. I don't think it's like 100%. Oh my gosh, Vic Fangio has no chance here. He's got some more help on the other side of the ball, but the numbers at some point are the numbers, and it's kind of interesting that Patrick Mahomes, this is not – there's very few. Belichick did it for a half in an AFC title game.
Yeah, he did.
Anarumo did it really for a half or two.
Maybe better than most.
And those were the 2 defensive coordinators that found a way to confuse Patrick Mahomes. Those are really the only 2 at times. Nobody else has been able to do that. And Vic Fangio historically hasn't. Now, maybe he's got a different plan. He's got 2 weeks to get ready. He's got different personnel and all that. The same way we talk about Spags will have some different looks. There'll be some things like, after you get out of the scripted plays, you wonder what those adjustments, that's what'll be more than just the initial game plan for me is, all right, we know Steve Spagnuolo is better than anybody at adjusting in game. Yes. He just is. Like, you can get him for a quarter.
Say whatever you want about him. If there's one thing we know, it's that.
Yeah, I mean, time and time again. Well, is Vic Fangio going to do that? Because Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive coordinators